children and educators with the spaces which designated for women. These concerns were formally communicated to the relevant state authorities, including the Ministry of Education, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, and the Ministry of Local Government. These were not speculative. They were grounded in credible reports, professional judgment, and the association's unambiguous responsibility to act where risk is identified. Let it also be stated without ambiguity. And
anybody want to say something in regards to that? Anybody?
Bala.
Yeah.
The reason why I said no to the request is that I don't want him to use Sir Richards as no excuse to tie up the program. Yes. That is the reason why I said that. You have videos, you have audios to play. Please to play the audio so that we can have a conversation that was prevented from not being had today. Not another distraction, because we're not going to be there the entire night.
What do you mean by he says that question I'm asking me not debate?
No, he said an open night discussion. So, right, that is the tactic to tie up the program.
That is the
tactic to tie up the program.
Question, mute the question, but Brad, you know, I'm entertain garbage. So I'm making out the question, I'm entertain garbage. Alex, what question I want to ask? I'm say something about the water. I'll say what Mark Golden reason to bring in the water to the parliament. Yes, because the sugar drink tax, and he was saying that if you want people to not drink sugar drink.
All right. Any open mic discussion is gonna be about this. The lies and the deception what the Jamaica Labour Party has spread, and this is the response of the JTA presidents. The JTA president hit back. So if you know want to have a discussion, a brief panty discussion about this situation, we can do so.
Bala, Bala, we must remember that within the PNP, there's a gentleman that was charged for insects, and the JLP run with it. But there was a son affidavit, right? Of a young lady who said she was being molested from 13 to 19 years old by Bobby Montague. There is also the president of the, I believe, of the Young Jamaica Arms, or G2K, who was charged to molest a young lady. Not only that, the former, I believe, a mayor councillor for the Jamaica Labour Party,
and deputy chairman,
right, was also charged twice, right, for rape. Not only that, the councillor and the principal for the Angel Division, which was the JLP, was charged for boogering. So them don't want to talk about that.
Hold on, may I ask a question? Give me some information upon this gentleman. Me say Malibu Fort assault somebody at the parliament yesterday. Anybody hear about that?
No.
Talk about that.
but Mr. Blair, Mr. Cole, you know, some time when you see Labour, them going and distracting thing and they want to talk about certain thing like how they when them
so Alex now this no discussion about this particular matter what we are talking about. And this is the problem we have with the Labour, right? Them always come to deflect.
No. Alex have a bar in Mandeville, and Alex a come talk about water. In his bar, it's $150 for the water. And he, since night, look for me and say him do have a bar where a young lady was unalive in 2024. These are the set of people who have been benefit by thank you to run. Thank you.
But wait now, Mr. Cole. You see some of the time, like what day when them come with the jag them thing. Anytime they put on a platform to me ask, who no interested about the other three companies in the world were named. Them have a thing when them put out them distraction, or we take it up and run it now. Me I tell you, we run it to say we are defend. When do involve the like something more day. Yes? And I tell them say listen me, this is just an allegation. This is why when Rose come with something I see him to me say allegation. One thing me depend principle them certain thing that distract me. Where Rose say about something the allegation. See like when they do involve I resign, so should something there. William.
Donovan Williams.
So when they come, what do you talk about that? Then them come with jag them. Remember saying that the jag them thing at $10 million, you know. You have one a company, and one thing we can tell us is swear about. One of the jag them is an affiliate, a person for the person where have his major shareholder is a comrade. But me can't tell you without a shadow of a doubt that the other three companies have no affiliation to the People's National Party. And you hear why I say that? If they had cliff views, just like when the redacted data they come out and cliff view could have looked to redacted data and find jag them, if that finds the other three affiliated to the PNP. So the other three companies. So when we are talking about jag them, yes, go through that. And jag them, what they go through, yeah, I know him not go on their head and do it. And the facility where jag them use, all of a big company in Jamaica use it too. Because they use the government for carrying things. So the point that I get now, this company get the same thing like this company get the same thing like jag them and them carrying things and sell back government 10 times the value. We not see something like that more than jag them.
And at the PAC, the acting chairman of the West Indies was only trying to sing about jag then and about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, 9 times, right? When they say, can you name the rest of company? It is under investigation. Right? By any chance, Jamaica, by any chance, I'm asking Donovan Williams, right, who have the major shareholder in our company that allege that bought crackery for the University of the West Indies and sell back the University of the West Indies tenfold with the same tax exemption. By any chance? Just asking a question. And then you have a Alex who come talk about water when in a theme bar where a young lady was unalive based upon the allegation that laid against him that young lady was unalive in 2024. Come here.
But
lie.
But Mr. Cole, that is not even anything. What about them? Forget about them. The guy that lost is the member of parliament, the right. When he was taking the chair and beat, even though somebody told me that they buried though, I should have filed any charges. But he was beaten her over the head with the chair. He made it kill her. Unalive the lady. But there's not a lot wrong with that. But a personal conversation with Vaz and some lady named Chang. That is what them think is worth the man resigning, which is personal, but the man actually committed a crime. And I think that is something that we need to look at as a country, whereby men should never be allowed to abuse women in that fashion, and somebody can get up and say them now personal charge. And I'm sure Bala and many others on the live can attest to probably states that they perhaps live in, that when you commit a crime like that, you can't tell nobody about you not pressing the charge after somebody did unalive you. So these are things that we need to look at.
Dean, did Christopher Tufton went to Westmoreland in 2025 and said that God forgive George White, so we must forgive him too? Not alleged. Christopher Tufton hold a platform asking the audience in Westmoreland to forgive George White to beat him woman because he apologized. Yet you have a Alex will come here to defend. I don't care if you are JLP, PNP, NDM, UPP, or no P at all. Once you molest a child based upon the affidavit that was signed by a young lady, right, accused Bobby Montague to molest her from she was 13-year-old. And if it can be proven, Bobby Montague should take into the square in St. Mary and hung, just like Ruan Silvera should take into the square of Arbitrary and hung. These are the people who continue to come out and defend corruption like Alex. He will, because based upon the allegation out there, right, that in his bar, because of his shady work, a young lady was unalive.
The thing is, Mr. Cole,
Alex,
when they break all the laws.
We're not ball, you know why that's why I like Labour at our platform. Because anytime Labour come on platform, we just go now one different way and distracted. We're going to do something different now, man. And start dealing with this something, because I see him to where I tell you, say, something there, when him, he man is a Jamaican. Yes, he's a member of the People's National Party. And the PNP tell because of incest with him wife. So we are going to entertain them there. When they connect, say we are defend. We not something with us Lego brother. We have bigger fish on them to friend, bro. And that thing something that is shut from the issue.
Certain things you need to follow them up to start about, bro. Because
we could deal with it. Because when this one Labour come back, we start cussing Labour at them and start load them with them thing, brother. We could deal with different thing, bro. There's a lot of people because with the JTA thing is a serious thing, you know. The JTA thing is a serious thing. Very serious thing.
But I played the video a while ago and things that some people.
Yeah, man, with them Alex, everybody knows the water. It's simple fact, Mr. Golden put nice something say. If we want to really make people stop drinking sweet drink, yes, we could take a GCT of water. That's all
Mr. Golden say. Some of them people are right, you know, because Alex have the audacity. Well, I know. Here Alex come up and now bully like Mr. Cooler and I'm dark now and I'm dark glass in a 12 o'clock at night. Hear him statement with him come up. Yo, I just two personal loan of good reasonability over here and I think logically, you know.
No, man, we didn't make them
I
put
think he call. I think he call.
me and Dino. Me, yes, me, I did, but I got to one is and come to one next year. Because
But for sure, you say, what I am trying to say is, Mr.
Yeah.
B, he might try belittle we. And I try. So basically, he must say everybody else now in a sense. Me calling Dr. Cole and everybody else except them two name the way my cause. But this man is defending a man will lie to the nation about $20 bottle of water. And your boldly come say that, bro. You come like you have a big matter in your face. Nah, see up your face and your face now wash. You tap out and you tell somebody say, yo, you not see your face cranny? Alex.
Let me tell you, look on all this. Every budget debate can speak after Mark Golding. So when Mark Golding talk, he ain't come. Andrew, this is just like what we stay on jail become a platform, you know. We get distracted. When Mark Golding talk, when Andrew was a nice budget presentation, he go right up here and start do sit the talk contract Mark Golding. So if you get to him, he put that budget presentation, when he do for 6 months, he doing budget presentation. When Mark Golding talk, he change up everything and he come out stupid. You want to notice him. Notice him from Mark Golding opposition leader. Every time he speak in that budget presentation, garbage in chat. And he had to have 6 hours because his presentation normally lasts 3 hours. If you contract Mark Golding, take an extra 3 hours. So he last in the show. Because as they say, when you got this stupid water, all the man should just come in and win the thing, you know. Our opposition leader, he understand, and I am agreeing with you. We really want people to stop the sweet drink. So here we do. We'll keep the tax on the sweet drink, but we'll take the GCT of water. The GCT of water less money, you know. That way then income and trace and that bring water and bad mind. And when you anti-bad mind mean that you're not bad mind. And him being an anti-bad mind to Mark, that Mr. Mark is not bad mind. He's just stupid. And that is anti-onless every single time. If you just check from 2021, every time Mark Golding speak, Andrew is changing presentation and code on garbage. You get to me? I say most Andrew Golding's thing when come when no, I respond to Mark Golding thing, you know. I agree with somebody that didn't change a few words now. When you go in a land thing, I will Mark Golding about land. And everything that is the other Andrew Golding that. And then I think with them now, how we our bloggers know when time we like something come about jag them, some against Dennis Garden, some with Dennis Garden, some are rare black. When Liberator do, you know, Liberator defend one thing to dead. All if I wrong are wrong. You get me I say? And all end up on one thing. That'll start with them
But
and they don't make no sense.
If a Labour is going to say that they will defend Andrew Holness down to the straw of the ear, you know, there's something wrong with that. The people.
All right. What did Nikisha Birch do?
Remember,
all these you don't sound stupid. The lady do interview and the lady said she talk about where she come from one uniform, go school, she have 3 degrees, and all these things she tell about as a country Jamaican girl, no. All of these athletes where a lot of young girls like here. How this? Yeah. So she talking in the whole presentation, you know, the man actually that thing. They say you're involved in a politician and very, and he said, well, you know, funny enough, even our room, I said, me there the prime minister. Me here a man, punkus. Was say married to a woman. Come never a woman in married. So me say married to a woman. Of course, the woman a style of the woman. I'd say Andrew was if Andrew was there with go-go, evidential facts, Andrew was there go-go. God Gemini could go by go-go. If Andrew was there, ugly road of Crawford. Look for Nikisha Burchell. And them of course, Andrew no one Nikisha Burchell. Nikisha look 1 million times better than his wife. Me not disrespect. So me don't know what them and then they start chasing girl and they did this and she this and the man I cuss you man.
Me see all this man when you munchie up and make video of this girl. And that girl and I call the girl raffle bag.
Yeah, Munchie come out of bed 100 in a night, then take out the material cost Nikisha. Look how Munchie for class. Nikisha brighter than Munchie.
I know what's that video, Mr. Shakos.
No,
Hold on there. Hold on there.
Munchie
The
come out
video-
of Nikisha class.
Hold on, Richard, because I want to wrap up now, because you talk more everybody is Kestan not talking, you know. But when I say still, the video where she talking, I really matter that in her eye, because I don't want that, you know.
Yes, because she in her bed, so she just wait. And this is the last thing I said. So I'm saying
And she don't realize and take off it, take down back the video.
exactly. So Punkus, meaning from man in Marto, woman, a cuss woman, a call it style woman. And then I have some other man, a cuss woman, just three woman say. I mean, no, say Andrew also that never said that. Then my cuss say, she said she did. Why may I tell you, trust me, me rest.
Kestan.
A point of order again. I believe that Nikisha Bertram is better than Anjonis too. I believe that. Right?
Kestan.
Nikisha brighter, everybody by JLP. Everybody.
All right. Kestan, come like him not the boat. Brett, you have anything to say? Go ahead, Brett, because we are wrap up in 15 minutes. Never have been planned to come back on so long, but you know it. And I'm on early with you again. Brett is not here. Dr. Cole, you have anything you have to say?
Yeah, just to try to tell you, when you can see that these people come up a different lie, where one name when name again from Canada, go to the nearest gas station in Canada and I show you water price, right? When you are sparkling water or some form of water, but a case of 24 water in Canada. You Richard, remember him name, no man? Somebody that me that him name. Now look, send me that. Right? And it's to show you that these people have no interest in Jamaica and they will lie to their teeth to defend the cult movement that started by Bustamante, the Jamaica Labour Party, right? And that's what we have to continue. I started and I will finish that the Jamaica Labour Party is a cult movement. It have no interest for the mass of Jamaica. They just continue to rape Jamaica, enriching themselves and creating generation wealth. Nothing more than that. And I will yield back to the floor.
All right, so I wrap up now, people. Man, again, so I could hear from who I hear from. Dr. Cole just talk, Dean just talk, Brett. All right, so
You get cut off in the middle of my
all right, go ahead, my boss.
But I mean, I don't have much to say other than, I mean, Mr. Cole made some important points. Where we are now with this situation at the school, I don't know why Mackenzie want to see the audio, I guess, for proof. That's what them say. But what we should be focusing on, the government should be focusing on, is investigating and bringing the perpetrators and also figure out a way to prevent these things from happening further based on the fact that people are still in the schools occupying it as shelters. So, but then it shows a weakness with the government because they should have foresight that these things would have probably happened. But in regards to the water, I was just told that there's a bag of water that is $60, bag water that is $60. So I'm not sure what Andrew was trying to prove, but clearly Andrew is somebody that loves to mislead the Jamaican people. Excuse me. And in respect to Empress and Alex and these people, overall, they tend to have this kind of derogatory, especially Empress, this derogatory style where she likes to look down on the Jamaican people. Sometimes I'm wondering if she's Jamaican, but them have this derogatory thing that them love to throw out there. Like they don't believe that the Jamaican people, when they're in need, that the government should be there for them because they pay taxes in some shape or form. They believe they act as if the money the taxes collected is for who? It's not for the people, or the Jamaican people. I'm sure a lot of Jamaicans in the country, both overseas and locally, don't have a problem with taxes helping the people, especially the vulnerable. I don't see what is the problem with that. So they need to change them ways. They really, really need to change them ways. And they're certainly not as bright as the comrades as they would like to think. Trust me, we have some serious people, comrades that know them stuff. You understand? And I just want to close by saying that, Baller, I personally appreciate the fact that you hold these lives and you're doing some good work. And I will not stop reposting those posts that you put out. I listen to them first.
Not just
right?
my one alone, man.
No,
Focus on
Alvaro,
yeah.
everybody. A matter of fact, I see Excellence doing things too these days.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, I've been reposting his stuff. And I like what we do, and we have to just keep doing it and exposing them. Thank you.
Big up yourself, big up yourself. All right, people, I feel like without further ado, cut it live right now. Remember, we stream all day today. And because I see uno guys will jump come back on because we even like how the matter was trashed out, but tomorrow we have to go back in a deeper conversation when it come on to the response of the JTA president and to the Ministry of Education.
And thank you very much, Bala. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bala, before you go, I want to say the man disrespect the whole, especially you. Because you is the host of the platform. If you come and say, only two somebody else on the platform for good reason. So when you put
man.
Disrespectful, man.
No, but me even take them as disrespectful because they can't think to themselves.
But Colin, that's why when I heard him say that I jump up, when I heard him say that, that's why I came in and I make it clear, right? Pandemia here, that because of his shady character, right? Because his shady character in Mandeville, that at his bar, a young lady was unalive when men went to go and collect their money, right? From and you know, see him, it was shoot up and a young lady unalive. So it's 150 in a bar in sell one water, but he come up on defend a lie. $150.
But not only
and
that,
that's why I don't care anything about anybody.
But that, Mr. Cole, it seems that this guy is bad mind because when Colin did a talk about some business, he might try to shoot it down and say, no, you shouldn't go there. So
Hold on, Nick. I could give Brad because we now have about 1 minute left. I could give Brad the rest of 1 minute.
All right, I don't have much to say. Uncle Cole, you know, I remember that incident.
You don't mind me?
Sorry, good night. Night, everybody. I remember that incident. You know,
good night, good night.
When the incident happened, as a matter of fact, I run and leave the young lady, you know, and he did not go back to that bar for a few days. I remember the touting. I remember touting on the internet about it because we didn't know who it was, but Uncle Cole got the scoop. Uncle Cole told him about it, but first they checked to see if he was okay and all of that, and he said yes, him all right and something, and then the mountain started. So I remember the incident. Yeah, I remember it.
All right, people. So here we know tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Probably 8:30. boy,
The word is love, comrade. Comrade.
Yeah,
Let me sing
yeah.
one song.
Where is done,
Consider
comrade?
your work here, so me love
That's
you on
right.
the platform. Honestly.
Big up
You get
yourself,
me, I
man.
say?
Better sound.
Yeah, but
Boss,
Let
somebody
me
man,
say
sing.
start, man.
Let me
Myself,
put the
all
smoke
all
and
the
be a
capital
baller.
one
The
jump on the beat.
trumpeter sounded my countryman hall. Awake
Yeah.
from your
Yeah, break up. You signal a burst, general.
I go mash up.
The signal now make a general come through
hospitality.
smooth, you
Who
know.
don't let it land? Land of my birth. I play.
All right. My final thing me have to say. Final thing me have to say.
All to the
Final
good
thing me have
night,
to say.
comrades.
Yeah. Bless up. Good night. Yo, sooner or earlier morning. We not nothing more visit.
How many similar gaps exist that have not yet been seeded? Is it likely that over these 20 years, there may be many things happening here that we have not yet seen?
Of course, neighbor. There's a lot more to uncover and unwrap because this is just an insight as to the possibility as to what has been happening even probably longer than 2 decades, neighbor. Right? Can you imagine this going back to as far as early 2000s by other companies, maybe not the ones here? Right? What they would have gotten away with. Because understand this in a neighbor. Something of this manner is
Not hearing you, Harry.
neighbor.
No, very, very low.
Oh, you hear me a little better?
Let me see if I can put this in. Go ahead.
Yes, you hearing me?
Yes, man, I'm hearing you.
Okay. I'm saying it is not just one where when we look at it, it can just be left to this one-off event. Because people, neighbor, when they're doing these things, it's never a one-off thing. Right? There's a level of repetition to it. Because there's a thing that I love to say. You see, criminal activities, neighbor, and persons who engage in it are like kids. They'll continue to do it and push the boundaries until they get caught. Right? And this may just be one such situation.
I'm getting a little bit of a problem here. Harry, give me 2 seconds. Let me try to correct that. Harry, go ahead.
Hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm saying it is one in which we have to treat in a very direct manner, and we have to explore every single crevices of what is happening. No stone should be left unturned because of the magnitude of this situation. And the fact that it is an indicator at the highest level as to us being able to now look elsewhere in other areas, other sectors, that this may be happening. So this is an opportunity for us as a nation to deep dive, to check every single area of these and rid the system of these issues, rid the system of these parasitic actions, right? Let it be conducive to growth, expansion and development, and proper services to the people that deserve it. But as long as we have these parasitic actions, neighbor, these cronyism aspects, we can't move forward properly. because this will always be a factor tugging and drawing us back. It is dead weight that we need to shed. And to shed dead weight, neighbor, we'll probably have to feel some pain, right? Because we know at the end of the day, once we do the right thing, we will be able to be better. And we cannot have members that are elected, voted for, right, dipping their hands multiple ways and taking resources from the very people that put them there.
Fantastic. Good evening to you, Mr. Protecting.
Good evening, neighbor Harry, listeners, viewers.
Yes, sir. You've been listening.
Go back to national conversations, Protecting.
Yes, neighbor.
Yes, sir. Let me hear what you have to say. I'm sure that you've been listening in. How you see this, man?
Yeah, I was listening to Harry, and Harry raised some very pertinent points. You see, this is so big and it is so deep that the efforts I see being undertaken to kind of muddy the water or to draw a wool over one white sheet over the Jamaican people's eyes. I understand why they have to attempt to do that. Now, let us go right back between 1993 to about 1999, 2000, neighbor. The PNP collected around about $1.7 trillion in taxes. But yet still, they had to beg D&G to pay public sector workers for a few years. Then they had to ask Grace Kennedy for another few years to pay public sector workers. And then Ray and Nephew, them have to beg Ray and Nephew. So even cigarette company, the PNP beg for pay public sector workers. Now, while all this was happening, you suck out 1.7 trillion out of Jamaicans' pockets in taxes. None of that not spent on the country, because every project, the few projects that took place in the country, which is Highway 2000 and the Halfway Tree Transport Center, were money borrowed abroad. Now, so there was no interest to grow the economy. The only interest there was to suck what was already in the economy out of it to put in their pockets. So the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. And in the middle of all of that, PJ Patterson signed a deal with the doctors after the PNP allowed almost 200 health centers and clinics to be shut down nationwide. They signed a deal with the Medical Doctors Association to allow them to see their private patients using the government hospitals while they're at work, because them working at the public system and them still have them private practices. Also, they could use the materials bought by government to service the hospitals in their private practice. So you have periods when doctors are go home or are left work. Them are come out with too much bag, or them have the staff I push too much bag in a wheelchair come out. Some might dodge, some not to. So gloves, mask, everything you can think of. And so the entire system ran down. And in the midst of all of that, they had a special permit granted by the government at the time where them could, for their private practice, import certain equipment. While a lot of them that I know use the UE tax exempt to ship in some equipment, because the tax exempt that UE has and the waivers that UE has, some of them are special. No other entity locally don't have it. And that has been established in law since about 1958, 1959, when Buster was premier. No, when 1949, somewhere there, to about 1953, when Buster was premier. Now, we have a situation now, I heard Harry mention it earlier, where Jack Dennis Garden, sued the Southeast Regional Health Authority. You know why I'm sued them, neighbor? Because other players are now in the market for janitorial services and porter services and all them services in a hospital. So the region now split up the contract and is allowing somebody else to participate.
Because protecting. That's the one where Jack then a group of companies lowered their bid to the lowest to get the contract. That's the one.
That's his claim.
Okay.
That's a matter in court, and that's his claim. Because somebody else, Jack then has held a price because they were monopoly in the healthcare sector with all the services that they provided. And so them hold a price for how long. And a new entity now come on board and get, have them equipment, have them things sort out, and then now bid for a government contract. He is now claiming that he lost a contract and him have loss and damages because that's how PNP are. Them put on them pot and then on food in them cupboard. The food over a neighbor. Them put on the pot a boil and them have a plan to go through the neighbor back door go thief out the rice because a neighbor rice a cook. Them not no rice, them just put on a pot. And that is what we're seeing. And that's why I say what is happening in Jamaica now is a collective of many things, neighbor, and I want the people who are listening to understand. He monopolized the health services for decades. Now that the economy expand, now that him contract come to an end and somebody else bid, he's not pushed out of the system, It just happens now that there's another player providing the service. So two of them have to go operate simultaneously in the system. Him want to remain in the system by himself. Nobody else nothing yam no food. Where else do we see that? Even though we are talking about Jack then, we see it right throughout the society. The PNP are upset because a whole lot of black developers, small man, you have 25-year-old who own construction company with all equipments and a bid for multi-million-dollar government contracts now. They do not like that. And that is what you see fueled Jack then going to the court, as Harry mentioned that part of it. Now, neighbor, this thing has the potential to go far and wide. And I heard today, because I didn't watch a podcast, that he was on a podcast somewhere on TikTok mentioning a JLP member's name who is shareholder in the Jack Den group of companies. Now, Jack Den group of company are supposedly a shareholder. Jack Den group of company, I think, is a public company. It's a private company, but maybe trade publicly. And a matter of fact, with the level of operation that he has going on, you must have investors. So I don't know why this thing now, where I'm going to mention that a shareholder of the entity is a member of the JLP. I don't know what that means. Because he's a crook, he has been his company has been involved in nefarious activities, and he must be brought to the fore to answer to them. Okay, let's say everything go through an investigation, done and everything, say, all right, there's nothing untoward here, whatever. Okay, we move forward. But right now, we're in the middle of a situation that needs to be explained. Now, it can't be that the bill of lading is in the University of West Indies name. Everybody knows that you were there papi in. But you will address a show for the 18, I must say 3/4, 8.5 Linders Road. But also the question need to continue. Who did Mr. Garden pay the money that he claimed that he paid? Who did he pay? Because if your name not upon a document, it is the you named upon document. How come Julian Robinson is reporting to us that he went to pay Jamaica Customs money? Whose name did he pay the money in? And now it is emerging that the officer who signed off on the transaction at Jamaica Customs is not the Commissioner of Customs, it's somebody who was not assigned to his account. So what kind of backdoor deal happened there, so? Now, the next thing is, the University of the Hospital, of the West Indies Hospital, is not authorized by law to collect any payment for any shipment because they are not a shipping broker. So if he is to say that him carry the money to UWI, why is UWI accepting payment for taxes owed to the government as an hospital? And they are not authorized by law to take payment.
Did he say that? He brought the money to the university.
And that is one of the 4 different statements that he has given. And I want him to keep talking, go up on one of the podcast somewhere else. Because the more he speaks, is the more them getting in trouble. The point is, you're making payments. By law, you're making the payments retroactively too. But the question needs to be asked, who did you pay? Because at this point, with an investigation going on, you went to the customs, as you say in one statement, to make the payment. Now, it is the Commissioner of Customs who's supposed to sign off on that certification and make sure the payment go through. Plus, you will have a special, according to the 1949 law, you will have a special recognition under the GCT Act. Only UWI Hospital have that special recognition. Why? Because when that was written in, it's because the university was seen as the training university in Jamaica. So them did have to get the special exemption so they could import equipments for the purpose of training and the continuation of healthcare.
Yeah. Okay. What I want you to do is to link this story to the People's National Party. At what point did the PNP leadership become aware of the issues raised in the Auditor General's findings involving Jack Den and the University Hospital of the West Indies tax exemptions? How do you link it to the PNP?
Them know from day one, neighbor. They know from day one. All right. Again, an audit was being carried out. I am sure that when the Auditor General and her team went to the University of the Hospital of the West Indies, somebody from within that office had to contact Jack Den or Mr. Garden to ask him to provide certain documentation to support the investigation. So from day one, he knew that his company was being looked into. So when it was uttered by him through his lawyers that I know him and media tell lie upon him, they already knew the truth. When it was uttered by Mr. Golden at that press conference, that he spoke to the member and the member said him not have a clue what they might talk about, and it's only one media house carrying this thing because they were successful in shutting down the next media house. Then pull back their statement. And so when they were doing all of that, when Dr. Dawes, when the story broke, as the report reached Parliament, Dr. Dawes did about 6 parts videos to muddy the water, to cause destruction. While he was doing that, I am familiar with attempts behind closed doors to kill the entire story. So the PNP knew.
Hold on, sir. You are saying to me that the series of videos that Dr. Dawes did was an attempt to kill the story?
It was an attempt to redirect the issue to Christopher Tufton. It was an attempt to create a certain narrative and give it legs so that if and by the time the story would come to light, people would already accost Christopher Tufton, or the attempts that were being done undercover to not make the story continue in the public did not work, because when they got to one of the 3 persons who made media know. That person did not know that there were 3 or 2 other people who were who also was whistleblowing on the same matter. So what was happening is their attempt to kill the story or to redirect the administrative issues at the University of the West Indies.
But wouldn't that is not that quite hold on. Listen, man. There's a pillar of our democracy, sir, that is failing badly. Isn't that vulgar and deceptive then, man?
The only pillar of our democracy that is failing is the fact that the PNP have believed in the miseducation and the misdirection of its supporters, so much so that it can talk down to them and them just take it because them don't know otherwise.
No, man, I'm speaking about the fourth estate protecting Jamaica. You are saying to me that Dawes had a series of videos.
Yes.
And you are suggesting that this was all a facade, somewhat of an attempt to misdirect.
Yes. Yes. While Dawes was doing that, Dawes knew that the University Hospital of the West Indies is a specially established hospital. The government of Jamaica does not own the University of the West Indies. It is owned by regional governments. It is the headquarters, the training headquarters for the region. They know that a certain percentage of share in the University of West Indies is also held by private entities. So it's a public-private partnership kind of thing. So he knew that Christopher Tufton is not the end-all and be-all in the whole matter. But he also knew what was happening at the University of the West Indies, Hospital of the West Indies. Remember, Dr. Dawes and his friend, Mr. Henry, went on a rampage mission, to get rid of the head of the medical staff. What's his name was again? Mr. What name again? Doctor whatever, because he and Christopher Tufton was close. And they couldn't afford for that to happen because they knew the underhanded activities that were happening there. So when I speak about these issues, neighbor, I don't speak about these issues from a position of naivety, I don't speak from a position of naivety. I speak from a position of understanding what is happening. There's nothing that Dr. Dawes worked in the system for over the past 20 odd years. What is in the system that he doesn't know? Dr. Dawes
Let me ask.
Phone and call anybody in the system. What is there happening that he doesn't know?
Let me ask you this, because the youth arms of the Jamaica Labour Party have raised the matter of Jack Den funding the People's National Party. Will the PNP, or should the PNP publicly disclose whether Jack Den or entities related to them made political donations to the party structure? Is that important to be disclosed?
In the grander scheme of things, sorry about that, neighbor. In the grander scheme of things, neighbor, I would rather for the investigations to be continued, and when
but the party is calling for that. Why?
The PNP will never. It is important that the party calls again. It's a public statement asking a question, but when you understand politics, it's a public statement shedding light on some things that people wouldn't normally know. So now the people who wouldn't think that is possible know that Jack Den contribute to the PNP. So Dennis Garden begin at the party. Now, when the companies who contribute to the two political parties for the last election, when that list is published, we will see who and who they're panning. Because it has to be published. I don't know when ECG are done with it, but it has to be published. And we will see the companies who, and the company's financial statements too, will, you know, so there are ways to know. But again, a public statement like that is just to shed light for those who are in darkness as it relates to these realities. That yes, Jack then is one of them who spend a lot of money in the PNP. He's a very powerful figure in the party too, you know? And so, yes, it is called for, but the PNP will not accede to that call, neighbor. We know. So it is just to shed light. And the public conversation now will have that added to the whole scheme of topics that we will discuss. That, yeah, man, the party have, this man a finance party, so them not even going to do him not much. You know, or they are not going to say it differently.
So in a concise way, protecting, because I really want to get it, because Jack then is not a PNP company. It's a Dennis Gordon company. Dennis Gordon is only a member of the PNP, a member of Parliament. Why is the People's National Party embroiled in this scandal?
The People's National Party is embroiled in this scandal because this story exists